Sabah everybody and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to do a comparison between two gaming phones that just became available on the global market. We're talking about the Red Magic 5G as well as the Blackshark 3. Both of them supporting 5G globally, but the fact of the matter is, which one is the better gaming phone for you? This is TK, let's check it out. Like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified whenever we have new videos on the channel. Both of these devices are gaming phones. They're intended to be gaming phones and they're marketed as such. So we're not going to obviously ignore the fact that they have some aesthetical differences that normal smartphones don't have. Namely, the design changes here that we have on the Red Magic 5G. We have actually an exhaust fan on the Red Magic 5G, a brand new camera setup. We have 5G obviously support, the 865, and of course an RGB customization light here on the back. The Blackshark 3 has pretty much the similar aesthetics. We have a magnetic pin for accessories that they're going to be available, as well as a customizable RGB light, a new camera array, and of course both of these phones feature a gaming mode. So you notice there's a button here on the right side, this button, and this button will initiate basically the gaming mode or a different launcher on both of these devices for whenever you want to be able to play games, as it actually optimizes the device to run better in those modes. So we'll definitely check those out. But as far as the actual specifications as we get between both of these devices, so looking over the specifications that we have here, both of them are supporting the 5G technology with the X55 modem. Both of them are supporting the Snapdragon 865. As far as the display, both of them are supporting a 1080p display, and of course 6.65 here to 6.67, 64, 13 and 5 as far as the camera sensors, and 20 on the front. Here we have a 64, 8 and 2, and a 13 megapixel on the front. So definitely better camera optics here, although we'll have a chance to do basically that comparison in a different video. 8, 12 gigs of RAM configuration, as well as opposed to here where we have an 8, 12 and 16. Of course the price does reflect the amount of RAM and storage that you're getting. Battery capacity roughly about the same, 45 watt here to 4720 watts. Although I do want to mention that in the box, the 65 watt charger that is included directly from Xiaomi is included in the box with the Blackshark 3, where with the Red Magic 5G you do need to purchase a separate charger to get the faster charging speeds. They do include the 18 watt charger in the box. As far as the actual, again, the company making, this is a Xiaomi phone, so the Blackshark 3 is a Xiaomi phone, and this one is a Nubia phone. Again, both supporting 5G, both of them running Android 10.0 out of the box, and they both have been receiving updates ever since I've had them. Although both of them supporting similar size panels and 1080p panels, the refresh rate on both of these devices are slightly different. We have 144 Hz here, or up to 144 Hz here on the Red Magic 5G, and here we have up to 90 Hz refresh rate. So it is a little bit of a difference as far as the refresh rate or the maximum refresh rate you're able to get out of the device. And the 90 Hz refresh rate also applies to the Blackshark 3 Pro, which is a slightly higher resolution as far as QHD for the resolution of the display, but still again supporting only a 90 Hz maximum refresh rate. Other than that, both of them support a gaming experience, so let's go ahead and turn it on. So I'll turn it on right here. So here's the Blackshark 3 gaming center. I'll open it up here. As far as the gaming launcher, it's pretty standard. Both of them have a version of it, so let's go ahead and see what are some of the main key features here directly on the Blackshark 3. You have customizations on the bottom and on the top, so you're able to basically see the applications or the games that you have installed in here. And by the way, if you are missing a game, it's pretty simple. You just hit the add button and then you can go down there and find the actual game and customize and add it to the launcher. There are some accessories that you're able to pick up here that are not actually included in the package, as well as the ability of basically having additional gaming configuration if you want to be able to go there. The settings tab here is pretty much for private space, gamer studio, as well as basic settings. You can go in there and customize those. But as far as game specific customizations, you can go directly into the game configuration. So there's device and game. And of course, it starts off with the performance. Now, by default, it's set to run in this mode, and you're able to basically overclock it to ludicrous mode. That's an option for you. Let's go ahead and hit OK. Although keep in mind, not everything is turned on as far as the settings here in ludicrous mode. So for our experience right now, I'm just going to keep it right now, just running the way it is. You're able to customize your display experience from 90 Hz, 60 Hz to HDR as well. Touch sensitivity, you can turn on and enable the Edge Anti-Miss Touch. Audio configuration for custom EQ, network options as well. In case you're in an area where 5G is not very strong, you can have it focused to run in 4G so that the experience is definitely much better. And of course, last but not least, light effect for music in an atmosphere, basically an atmospheric lighting effect for the back. You can swipe from the top and you have access to the gaming launch center from the top, and that gives you access to a few shortcuts at the top, again with the same thing with the gaming center here. But overall, the experience itself is very nice. And of course, 90 hertz refresh rate in gaming is definitely more supported than what we've seen in the past, or at least with 144 hertz. So let's go ahead and see how the gaming center is on the Red Magic 5G. And as you can see, there's a lot of similarities between both. On the top left here, I'm able to change the view again, same thing, either grid size or basically carousel. If I click the option here, there's additional accessories also that Red Magic provides. Again, they have a pogo pin connector at the bottom, where the Blackshark has that magnetic connector on the back. But those are sold separately. You can also, of course, in there and go into the customization. So summary overall as far as heat, hours, basically Red Magic time, fan configuration if you want to be able to turn it on. This one does have a built-in fan, and you're able to turn it on directly from the system here. I do want to mention though that whenever you have it overclocked or running in a higher performance system, it will actually run and automatically recommend you to turn it on. Other than that, we can basically record settings, PUBG, different games, connection to the internet, basic. Again, very similar configuration to what we've seen in the past. We do have a side launcher here, different than what we have here with the Blackshark, where it actually just everything is on one side. There's no two top and bottom. So we're able to turn on the 144 hertz, the 60 or the 90 whenever we want. And of course, when we turn that on, we're able to turn on the fan itself. The fan does become audible if you're not playing any games, but if you are playing games, you're not going to have any problems. Game space and everything else set up, you can go in there, and as far as also configure basically the game enhancement, but only available during game. So let's go ahead and open up real quick PUBG. I want to show you guys basically some of the customizations you're able to do. So we'll go in here, game enhancement. You can set up pretty much the same thing, either overclocking the CPU, GPU, or everything. Just recommend obviously doing it at the best performance, but also understand that this will consume more battery. Last but not least, we have 4D touch as well as actually configuring buttons. So let's go ahead and bring down the volume. And let's go ahead and turn on basically the shoulder triggers. You'll notice these are the two buttons that are present right there on the top right and top left, and I'm able to customize them depending on my experience. So for me in PUBG, I have this one to turn on the crosshairs, and then this one to be able to shoot. And of course, I use my thumbs to be able to basically navigate. So what I have in front of us essentially is a sound meter application. It's just measuring the sound in the office right now. I have both the volume on the Red Magic 5G as well as the Blackshark 3 running at 100%. So let's go ahead and bring them up. You can see both of them are running very high. The song that we're going to be listening to is called Jumbo by Alex Crindo. I just want to share with you guys obviously the experience, and then actually show for the most part that they both sound very good. Keep in mind, two front-facing speakers on the Blackshark 3 as opposed to a front-facing speaker and a side-mounted speaker here on the Red Magic, where it does fire sideways but actually still provides us a very good experience. Now, one thing I do want to mention to you guys with the Blackshark 3 before we go too far is under the sound setting, if we jump in here, there is a BIZO sound setting that actually implies or actually provides a louder performance on the speaker. So if you're getting the device for the first time and you're noticing that basically the sound may not sound as good as what I'm showing you right now, that's something to keep in mind. It actually does have an additional setting to get that. So overall, roughly about 94, 95 decibels. Let's go ahead and jump over here. Now, although the sound on the Red Magic 5G does actually sound like it's going louder, the Blackshark 3 does sound a little bit better, where this one sounds a little bit more like as if it's blown out. Overall, both of them can get pretty loud, and both of them can give you good sound as far as using the headphone jack, as not only that, with the front-facing speakers that we have here. So no Dolby Atmos on either one of them, so just keep that in mind. Overall, the experience is really good for gaming, and of course, if you want to have low latency and of course the more private experience, both of them are supporting a headphone jack, both placed at the top. The Red Magic 5G is on the top right, and the Blackshark is more closely centered, just again easier to be able to hold whenever you're holding the device for the cable to kind of thread through your hand. So when it comes to the gaming experience on the Blackshark 3, I'm going to say basically that overall it's very nice. We have obviously access to all the games that you're able to download directly from the Google Play Store, and because we're running the Snapdragon 865 and of course the X55 modem, you're not going to have any problems with the connectivity issues. And as far as performance, again, maximum frame rates that we're going to be able to get here is 90 frames per second. Now, because of the fact that more devices on the market have 90 frames per second or 90 hertz refresh rate, we're going to be able to see more compatibilities as far as gaming, as you guys are looking at right now now on the actual screen. So gameplay over this, I tested out Fortnite, Call of Duty, Real Racing 3, Asphalt 9, Modern Combat Versus, Dash, Dead Trigger 2, and PUBG, of course. For the most part, 60 to 90 hertz refresh rate was pretty much the standard that I got everywhere. Fortnite, because of a limitation from the developer, we don't have a way of running anything higher than 30 frames per second. And it's actually the same scenario when we look at the Red Magic 5G. But gaming-wise, there's no question that you're going to be able to enjoy this from PUBG gaming, listening, everything like that. There's no issues at all with Bluetooth 5.0 as well. We should be able to get some good Bluetooth gaming experience on this device. Again, just keep in mind that the maximum refresh rate will be 90 frames per second, and for the most part, all games that support high refresh rate ran really nice, and of course gave us that 60 to 90 frames per second. And for me personally, PUBG is my #1 game, so of course that one ran very, very smoothly on the Red Magic, as well on the Blackshark 3. Now, as far as gaming on the Red Magic 5G, this is where it gets a little bit different. There's a few games that are optimized specifically to run on the 144 hertz. Again, they both have 1080p panels, but one of them has 144 hertz. So for that, Bullet Force as well as Real Racing 3 were able to run for me at 144 hertz or 145 frames per second. And those are things that you're definitely going to appreciate. Dead Trigger 3 as well, 2 as well, and of course Vainglory. PUBG and Odyssey, Arena of Valor, Modern Combat Versus. Modern Combat Versus right at 120. Not 144. It hasn't been optimized. Asphalt 9 and basically Fortnite for the most part ran again at 30 frames per second. So depending on the game, you're going to get different experiences, but if you're looking for the highest refresh rate and the highest possible refresh rate with supported games, especially if you're a fan of Vainglory, I think the 145 hertz supported gameplay right now is definitely very nice, and hopefully when we do get 90 frames per second support on PUBG, both of these devices will be able to perform very well. As you could see with the gameplay that I'm sharing with you guys right there, the triggers are very nice and very easily customizable, and for me, I love using them on PUBG. Again, as to basically alleviate having to put 4 fingers on the screen, I focus my thumbs for direction, and as well, and I can use basically my index fingers to do the trigger and firing whenever I'm in the game. And of course, that helps for a much better gaming experience, even in Fortnite, as it actually does help the overall aesthetics of the actual device. So I wanted to share with you guys a quick benchmark information here as far as what we get at the different refresh rates on each device. Here on the Blackshark 3, obviously since we only have 60 and 90 hertz, that's the only 2 tests I did. And here I did a test where the device was running at 144, 90 hertz, as well as 60 frames basically per second. And you can see basically for the most part, the maximum score-wise here obviously is 920 by 3384. It's on the running here on the 90 hertz refresh rate on the actual Blackshark 3. So overall experience, it actually does perform quite well. Now on the Red Magic 5G, the experience changed a little bit overall. It did improve quite a bit when I went from 144 hertz, so this was running at 144 hertz, and again multi-core and single core. But when I jumped over to 90 hertz, it definitely did improve a little bit better, getting closer to 900 and 2983. And then when I dropped over again to basically 60 frames per second, roughly about the same. So it seems like for overall performance, the refresh rate on the device does actually play a factor as far as the overall score. Running at 144 hertz does tax the system, and it does tend to actually have to work a little bit harder. So just keep in mind, overall, both of them are very close, but if you're just looking at specific numbers, the Blackshark 3 definitely wins by a small margin of actual increased performance at the 60 frames as well as the 90 frames per second. The overall experience between both of these devices is very comparable. If you're looking to basically just get the best frame rate on the device, I think the Red Magic 5G is definitely hands down the winner there. Not only does it support the 144 hertz, but it also supports the 120 hertz, which I think the Blackshark 3 can never actually get there because of the maximum 90 hertz refresh rate there. But again, keep in mind, not every game on the market is 144 or even 120 hertz refresh rate optimized. So I think for the majority of the games that we play, again, would be PUBG and even Fortnite, I think the maximum we're able to see is 60 frames per second right now. And even if we do get that optimization for PUBG to go to 90 hertz, both of these devices are going to work really good. Now, if you're a fan of Vainglory, some of those, Dead Trigger 2, as well as some of the Real Racing 3, that's where the Red Magic 5G exceeds. It does support the higher refresh rate, and they are working with developers. Also keep in mind, there's a lot more games now with that are 120 hertz refresh rate optimized because of what OnePlus, Samsung, as well as the ROG Phone 2 did for us. Obviously, having these devices on the market will push developers to support them. So longevity-wise, that's going to be something that you guys have to decide. Is it something that you really care about? The battery is a little bit bigger on the Blackshark 3, and it does support out of the box the 65-watt charger that is included in in the box, where with the Red Magic 5G you do need to buy a separate charger to get that fast charging, although it does actually charge pretty well with the 18-watt included charger. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think of both of these devices? I think when it comes down to it, as far as personal selection, I think they're both going to perform really well for you, and I think at the end you're probably going to basically judge more with the budget that you want to spend. They're roughly about $500 to $600, providing us some of the latest specs, and of course if you're looking for that Blackshark 3 Pro that hasn't been officially announced or released in the global market, it is available in the Chinese market, but that one doesn't include the Google Play services, so you just want to be aware. If you pick up the Chinese model, make sure you pick one up that already has the Google Play services added. Both of these guys are supporting 5G internationally, as well as the fact they come out with Google Play services. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for the support. Share that with all your friends, and be safe.